Hey guys, welcome to my England tactics video. I'm going to move away from the sort of Liverpool normal game that we've come to know and love on this series, and I'm going to be focusing a lot more now on the England Road to Glory series. Now, this isn't an official episode, I suppose, for the Road to Glory with England. I'm sort of going to see this one as two things. This, as you can tell by the title, tactics video, but also sort of episode 2.5, if you will. It's not episode 3, but I thought I'd use this opportunity to kill two birds with one stone, and at least show you tactics, and tactics I use for England, and I'll explain that in a moment, as well as show you first live commentary for an England game. Now, the idea is behind this very quickly. For the year 2012, which as you can see is up here, I'm going to be doing live commentaries for all the games in here. Now, obviously, we include a friendly, and then maybe another friendly, which I probably will do as well, or maybe another two friendlies, maybe even before we get to the European Championships, where of course we have to play at Turkey, Portugal, and Italy, and have an extraordinarily hard group. I don't know, I'm not too sure why we've been drawn against them, but as you can see, we have all other fixtures here as well. And this is our World Cup qualifying draw. I actually haven't seen this myself. And we've been drawn against here San Marino, that should be great, I can't wait for that, Sweden, Albania, Ukraine, and Denmark. So that's not the hardest group in the world, but I wouldn't say it's the easiest either. I mean, we've got some good teams in there, Denmark are pretty good, they've got some decent players, Christian Puls, oh wait, no, they've got Nicholas Bent, oh wait, oh never mind. Ukraine, of course, are good, we're probably going to, I don't know. I just have a feeling that we're going to face Ukraine in the European Championships. Albania are okay. Sweden, as we all know, Sweden are always good. They've got Zlatan Ibrahimovic and San Marino. Well, yeah, San Marino. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get on to the actual point of this video. Now, I'm going to divide this up into two things. It's a tactics video. I'm going to, as I say, explain my tactics and my personal tactics that I use for England and how I advise you should use them to get the best out of this team. But the good thing about England, of course, is you don't have to apply this. You can apply this to different players. But if they've got similar attributes, then it should be okay. It shouldn't make too much of a difference. But what I'll also show you is a chance to see these tactics in action for the first time as well. So we'll scoot on to this now. The goalkeeper here. Now the goalkeeper doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to put out a slightly experimental team here, but obviously I'll substitute for different players. Now I suppose doing this properly would be the sense when I'm not including the likes. I mean, I know Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, and so on are all in there, but that's just because I've got this going on here, which is 45 minutes. It's only a friendly, so against Iran I think that's it. I think that is Iran, which is strange, but yeah. So I've got to include them anyway. So just forgive that for now, but I'll set the main team out now. My first choice keeper would usually be Joe Hart, but for this I'm putting in Scott Carson, as I say, just because it's an experimental game. Now, the problem, of course, major problem with this being, and with it being a friendly, is this tends to happen. If I scroll down here, injuries will happen, but let me just scroll down here. In my opinion, an absolutely ridiculous addition to this game. I personally think this is one of the worst features of the whole game. Rumours of rifts with Tottenham, Man City and Birmingham. Where's that come from? I have absolutely no idea. Every time I finish a game, I go on holiday to the next one. I just skip ahead. I very rarely watch. I mean, I catch up. Obviously, I'll see who's good performance, who top goal scorer is, etc. But generally, I just go on holiday, so I have absolutely no idea where this has come from. If it's just random, just to challenge you a bit, just to say, so and so has been withdrawn from the England squad by his manager, which I didn't even know club managers could do. I mean, I know Alex Ferguson can do it, but apart from that, no one else can do that. I mean, I've had to call up likes of Parker, Glenn Johnson then got injured as well, Wright Phillips, and Scott Carson after Ben Foster got injured. So, that there is that element of challenge, and it's pretty annoying. So I haven't got like a proper right back here. So what I am forced to do instead is make do and mend. So I have to put Wayne Bridge in there. Now my first choice for right back will probably be Glenn Johnson, but he's injured. Now I'm going to just be experimental. I'm going to throw Rio Ferdinand in just because I can. and because pretty much I have to. Not Kieran Gibbs. And Gary Cahill. Now he's going to play 45 minutes. I've got John Terry on the bench as well. And I've got Kieran Gibbs, who is certainly a good one for the future. Arsenal, I mean, on this one, actually, I think he's at Celtic. I mean, oh yeah, he's on loan at Celtic now. Obviously, whether he is obviously in real life, obviously with Arsenal, he's going to be amazing. We'll have to see. But I mean, it's the difference here is, of course, a lot of people are like, okay, I'm just going to pick Ashley Cole and so on. Ashley Cole doesn't have that long left in him, if I'm going to be honest. By the time he gets to 2014 World Cup, there's a high probability he probably won't be in your team. So, moving along anyway. Sean Ray Phillips, I'm going to bring him in here. He isn't worth much, as you can see. He's 30 now. God, he's 30. Good grief, I didn't know that. But yeah, you know, this is more of an experimental team. This probably isn't the greatest idea, but I've got Steven Gerrard as well. Jordan Henderson, who I've found to be amazing. If you've seen the last video, you may have seen him just perform absolutely out of his skin. To get goals and assists, as well as Connor Wickham here. Now this is another one. Connor Wickham, certainly look at him, and Jermaine Defoe actually surprisingly good as well. Now, in terms of tactics, honestly, there isn't that much to it. I'm just going to add all these players. Jack Wilshere, obviously one for the future, most definitely. Stuart Downing as well. Frank Lampard now. I think I may have actually overdone that. I'll keep Lescott. Actually, no, I can't even keep. Oh God. Really does struggle. I'm struggling here. Walcott and Rooney. Don't need Downing, do we? I'm going to have to leave Downing. Never mind. I mean, the problem with this, of course, is this was applied to the patch before. Sorry, I'm wandering away. This was applied to a patch before. Actually, this is a completely unpatched game, I should say, actually. But as you can see here, you know, it's Iran. It should be an interesting game. If I'm going to be honest, they've got Andronic Timourian, who I suppose is okay. And I generally find if you just do these three, most of the time will. And to the main danger man, then they leave. They leave. They get kicked out of the game most of the time. But most of these players are experimental. I mean, Daisy, no pressure. I'll tell no pressure to Gerrard and. No pressure on Ferdinand, and no pressure on Defoe. But now this 4-4-2 here is pretty much. I honestly don't know of any other real genuine formation that would impress you as much, I suppose would be the word. Yeah, the 4-4-2, honestly, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But what I'm going to do in a moment, I'm going to show you a half time. I'm going to show you the difference to how I tinker with the 4-4-2. Now I'm just going to show you, this is a completely unaltered 4-4-2 at the moment. Just default everything, not change anything. What I'm going to do at half time is I'm going to show you what I tend to do. Now this doesn't really make much difference in fairness. The formation doesn't really. I use this for Liverpool, I use this for England, obviously, but I use this for pretty much almost all teams. Now unless, goodness me, we're throw from Wickham. Unless it's a sort of, unless I'm managing someone like Stoke, which I probably won't be anyway. Unless you're managing a team with big lads, you know, like a Stoke or a Bolton or something, I wouldn't advise using the tactics I'm going to employ. But instead, if you are using, you know, nippy team players like Rooney, Wickham, Defoe, Henderson, you know, nippy players who get themselves around a bit, you know, they're not like. If you've got a team full of Andy Carrolls and Peter Crouches, don't do what I'm going to do. And it's basically come from probably a really bad time to say this, but the Arsene Wenger school of thought. Now I know he's obviously got in for a lot of stick at the moment, but when I say that, obviously applying it to international football just for a minute, forget transfer policy. Let's see, is Defoe offside? Yeah, he's offside. Just forget the transfer policy thing for a minute. Basically, just be as creative and as strict as you can. Don't do what I think Defoe's going to do here in a moment, and that's get yourself into a very poor position and still shoot. And that is probably one of my biggest pet hates on this game. Now, my tactics tend to get rid of that 99% of the time. I mean, what I tend to do, the main core of it is to turn off long shots. And what long shots doesn't just apply to having a shot from 30 yards out. It'll also apply most of the time to if a player gets himself into a poor, like he's ran through the defence, he's in a poor position, the ball's stuck under his feet, but he still has a shot. It also gets rid of that. What that means, though, basically what it means is the player's going to look for the pass rather than the shot, and that is most of the time what you want. And certainly going forward. Now with defenders, I don't mind it, but I'd always keep the long shots on at least one player, and keep it to sometimes. Now, also, that will be explained in a moment. And oh god, Iran have scored. Oh, that's not good. I thought, thankfully, that I don't have a 100% record as England manager anymore, as we obviously drew with Montenegro, but that's not good. I mean, in fairness, we are playing in a war zone, so I mean, I've kind of gone the point here. We're in Tehran, which isn't. I mean, I'm not the greatest at geography, but I'm pretty sure that's in Iran. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, obviously, these are a whole new bunch of players. They're not. This isn't like my main starting 11, so maybe they are gonna lack a little bit of technique, maybe with each other in terms of and I don't know. They're gonna lack something as a team. They're not gonna be perfect, and hopefully the frame rate won't die on us today. But yeah, so this is an unaltered 4-4-2. Now I'm gonna just give it till half time. Now, in case you're wondering why I only had 9 subs, you only are allowed the 9 subs. You're not allowed 12 for some strange reason. I'm not too sure why. Probably in danger of probably starting a war or something. No doubt with Iran. If you have 12, but as you can see, they are absolutely getting, pounded at the moment. Oh my god. Scott Carson doing quite well. Oh my god, we are getting absolutely fucking destroyed. I'm going to counter them because we've got some nippy players. Wright Phillips can play. He's probably lost his mojo on this by now. A few FMs ago he may have been pretty good, but Wickham as well. He's still very, very young, and he's still fairly ineffective in terms of playing football. He's a poacher, is what he is, and this I think is a very good example of why I would never really stick to the default 4-4-2. As you can see, we're getting passed off the park by Iran. Now, I know Iran aren't terrible. It's not like the San Marino. They've got some good players. This Timourian, he's a very good player. I think he plays for... Who's he playing for? Norwich, I think. Or someone like that. He's around that. I'm not too sure. He was at Norwich, I know that. But I would never really stick with it, as it's pretty flawed and it's pretty bad. And as you can see, England are being absolutely torn to absolute shreds by this very crap Iran team. Let's be honest, it is a bad team with 1 or 2 good players. There's Gary Cahill going forward. Look at this. So look how completely no composure there from Wickham. He's only 18. He's still at Ipswich, not at Sunderland. So pretty poor nonetheless. So that's why I would never really recommend sticking with. I want to see more from you. Never really recommend doing that. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw Theo Walcott on. We're going to tighten up this defence. So we're going to have. Hang on. Let's change. Get this in order. We'll bring off. Let me see. Let me just make my mind up here. Good thing about Jack Wilshere as well. He's a very versatile player. I'm going to bring him on for Wright Phillips. Very, very versatile indeed. Leighton Baines for Kieran Gibbs, and Rooney for Defoe. I think obviously the fact that there's one more thing I didn't do, and that is change the tactic, which I'm going to show you now. Actually, hopefully a game won't crash on me. There we are. So team instructions. Generally, I really sort of keep this. I change it to what the opponent is. Now with Iran, I think the poignant one is expressive freedom. I would go for that, especially when players like Walcott, Rooney, obviously Defoe's not on anymore, Young, Gerrard, etc. They're all there with very expressive amounts of creativity and freedom in there. So I personally would also go for drilling crosses. I always go for that pretty much every time. But the key area here is in player instructions. So if I go to Gerrard, for example, I always go to advanced. The main one is long shots. Now I'm going to keep long shots on Gerrard to sometimes. Everyone else, though, sticks to rarely. Now Henderson is rarely. Young, rarely. Because what happens is essentially they have these terrible long shots and they just waste opportunities. Now I'll leave Leighton Baines because obviously he's a defender. If they get forward, you might as well let defenders have shots. But I think I would change it just to midfielders and strikers. Leave defenders, it's not worth it. Rio Ferdinand is the captain. That will change when we get to the European Championships, don't worry. But we'll also change the formation here. I'm going to change him to... Actually, we'll change Rooney to the target man. And let's see, Walcott. Not too sure, actually. Change him as advanced forward. I don't exactly know what that means, but... And Ashley Young will support winger. I always have wingers on support. I'm actually going to throw Gerrard on the right this time. Wilshere can also support. Henderson can attack, and Gerrard attack as a wide. I'd never recommend having automatic. Only have that on your left and your right back, personally. That's just on anything. Confirm the changes. So now let's see how that changes. Now, admittedly, the players are a little bit better, so hopefully, we should see some improvement. So even if they don't win the game, at least win the second half. And that's no good start from us. So Rand still having efforts. Counter clearly isn't doing anything. So usually I don't really know a great deal too much about these sort of attacking counter standard things and how they have an effect on player sort of roles or the formation or whatever. But for whatever it is, sometimes it just doesn't work. Like this, for example, I don't really know what else I can do because I would never just rely on them. Sometimes you can just rely on this team instruction thing here. But sometimes when you're playing like Iran, and you really should be beating them, look at this. Like, the players just aren't interested. They just don't look interested at the moment. This is not a good time to do this live commentary, I tell you. Yeah, the players are completely uninterested here. I have no idea why. Let's see how they go. I mean, Henderson has been better than this. Wilshere, of course, is still young. And Walcott. Oh dear. Oh dear. I mean, I know his long shots. I mean that. Whatever. It's Steven Gerrard. Obviously, no matter what type of mind frame he's in. I can't speak to that. Mind frame he's in. He's always going to have long shots anyway. So he'd be better off having him. But now, see, look at Walcott. I mean, okay, he got tackled there. But he won a penalty. You know why? Because if he were normal there, he wouldn't have. He would have shot there, but he stopped and won the penalty, and Steven Gerrard scores it. So there you go. There is a prime example of why I would not have all players. I'd say have one player at the most on long shots. Change them all, and this applies not just to England, by the way. This can apply to any team in Football Manager FM11 and 12. But if that were Walcott there, what he would have done, if he wouldn't have stopped, he would have kept going, and he would have been off balance, he would have been all over the place, and he would have still had the shot, which I'd say 9 out of 10 times would not go in. Would have either spooned over the bar or the keeper would have saved it. But what does Walcott do? No, he stopped and won the penalty. See, now, Gerrard, he has probably a better chance of scoring a long shot. Okay, I think Ashley Young is actually going to have to come off. Scott Parker, put on Henderson on the right, and Lampard for, let's see, actually no. To bring off Gerrard. And of course Wilshere, one of the most versatile midfielders in England. He can play anywhere in the midfield. I think I've talked about this before. Of course, bought him for Liverpool. I mean, there's absolutely no harm at all in using an experimental team in places like Iran. I thought you would be playing in Iran. Let's take off Cahill. I can't make any more. Oh, what a shame. Never mind. What are the club managers going to do? Sue me? I don't understand why the club managers have suddenly this huge amount of power over you because you're the England manager, which is completely ridiculous. Walcott will still need to gain a bit of experience. Obviously, we're only a year and a half into the game, a season and a half into the game. Might as well go attacking now. Don't go overload, it's not worth it. Ever, really. Unless, obviously, you're losing 1-0 and you need to go for it in the last few minutes. Can we win the game? Oh, and Rooney, wow. Well, I think every other time he would have scored that. It was not good from Wayne Rooney there, but never mind. Still going. Theo Walcott very hard working, of course. Oh, and how have we not scored? Jordan Henderson missing this time. Oh my god. And it looks like it's going to be the game. Well, I mean, I think we certainly won the second half there. Not good enough, needs to do better compared to the match. But what it was there was a prime example of the difference there between the default settings, formation and styles and so on, compared to just a little, and there wasn't even much altercation in that, was there really? You know, there wasn't much difference there at all, and we won the second half against Iran in a difficult. I mean, Iran in Iran is difficult with an experimental team when all of a sudden the club managers seemingly have a lot of pull over you. I mean, look how this is just. I love this. How in depth football managers. Look at this: Netherlands, Antilles, and Malawi, and Oman, and East Timor. Why are these countries in it? It's absolutely ridiculous. Zanzibar, you know, Tahiti, you know, Laos are in it, for God's sake. Absolutely incredible. I don't think you can take control of them, but never mind. You know, we've done okay there. But yeah, that's a little sort of sneak peek at what is to come when we play the European Championships and maybe another few friendlies before it. But yeah, that's my little England tactics video. I hope you maybe learned some of this stuff. Of course, it can be applied to FM11, but also for the upcoming FM12 as well. I would use similar, if not pretty much the same tactics for that as well. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.